So I took a course of wireless communication and convergence, and one of its activity is making a summary of the class topic. In this case, it's all about NGN Overview. Also, all of the picture and video is either from the class presentation or I found it on Google. Thanks for the reference. What is NGN? A next-generation network is a packet-based network able to provide telecommunication services to users and able to make use of multiple broadband. What packet-based network mean is that the way of carrying information through the network is divided into many ways, individually. The examples of this is the internet that we use on our daily lives. This is the opposite of circuit switching or public switch telephone system, where the network is set through only one way, alternating different calls with analog system. The examples of this is old analog fixed telephone that you have in your house. Multiple broadband is the ways of transferring wide bandwidth data through an internet connection, accommodating fixed, mobile, and wireless. QoS enabled transport technologies and in which service-related functions are independent of the underlying transport-related technologies. What is QoS? Quality of service is the standard service of technology that must fulfill its parameter to keep its quality performance in networks. This to ensure the application and traffic involved experience no problems, such as packet loss and latency. Have you ever watched a live broadcast and the sound doesn't match the video? That is one example of the importance of QoS, to prevent that sort of thing from happening. In NGN, QoS manages packet priorities of a service and its important aspects, with minimal use for maximal efficiency. Priority aspects such as delay, bandwidth, etc. is important for a certain type of service. Added security is necessary to ensure the packet is given to the right route of destination. Service-related includes types of service like voice, message, and internet, while transport is the network. It enables unfettered access for users to networks and to competing service providers and services of their choice. It supports generalized mobility, which will allow consistent and ubiquitous provision of services to users. What generalized mobility means is that the roaming between the network operators and service has variety and still with its existing interface. It also must support between and within networks. You're probably wondering, what is the key principle of NGN? Well, there are three: open architecture, independent provisioning, and multiplicity. Open architecture means that other third party acts as a service. Here, the transport or network provider supports as a medium between the third party service provider and the user in order to ease the relation between them. This is a nice addition for third party service as they can ease their service creation through the support of transport network provider and of course help the user. Independent provisioning separates the service provision process and network provider. This makes them separated into two different entities. Back then, both of them is considered as one entity. Hence, doing calls requires you to pay extra to the service provider. Last but not least, multiplicity. Multiplicity makes NGN function more flexible as it is to expand the range of users handled. You can say that it almost is a multiplexer from the main server to the amount of handled users. Compared to PSTN, it is more complex as we must use long cables, whereas now we can just connect our phone to an internet network provider. Examples of NGN features. You can pause. And these are just the overview.
Moving on.
Now let's compare the difference of the services. In old legacy networks, services tend to be vertically integrated, meaning it is dedicated to only a single service, which makes users must subscribe to other services. They also require specific infrastructure components for delivery, like a dedicated cable for each available services. Of course, this is quite complex and wasteful of space, overall inefficient. While in new NGN, services is horizontally convergent, so a provider can hold up more than one services, as well as componentized network function to deliver services more efficiently in one scope. More NGN capabilities. Services expected to be supported in NGN are multimedia services. These are the examples. Data communication services, PSTN or ISDN simulation and emulation services, public interest services, and their examples. This is a picture of a basic reference model of an NGN architecture. Transport and service layer used to be combined in old legacy networks, but now separated. Each of them has three aspects: user, control, and management. User plane is all about the service from user preference. Control plane is the network that controls how the information from the user is delivered, and management plane is managing all of the procedure that then consume when it's executed. The procedure can be described in the picture. Start from the application where the user is in need of service. It is sent to the service support function. It is connected to the user profile function that is connected to the other NGN service, PSTN or ISDN emulation service, and IP multimedia. All of that is accessed in transport network. Init is connected to the user profile transport function and resource admission control function. All of this function is still connected to the control of old legacy technology. These are the impacts and difference between old legacy networks and NGN architecture. The system is more flexible and the nodes are more clean. I mean, look at how simple this scheme is.